Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special series of the Riv Readers podcast. I'm your host, Katie McFarland. This summer, we're talking with our own library staff to find out what they're reading, their all-time favorites, and latest picks. This interview is with Tina Cheshire. All right, so before we get started, Tina, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at the library.
Yeah, thank you. So I actually am the person who sits right in the middle where everyone comes and says hello to me at the desk. So I'm the circulation assistant right now. I used to be, some people might know me from late night, midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, being a reference librarian as well. So I'm pretty much wearing a lot of hats, but I'm here to do whatever anybody needs.
And you're so great at it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So before we get into reading and books, what's something that you are most looking forward to right now?
Well, obviously summer. I mean, I'm
Yes.
really, really digging this weather right now. It is almost perfect temperature. Even when I get out at 9 o'clock, it's still like 60 degrees. I'm okay with that. So really looking forward to a nice summer.
Do you
Are
have
you?
any exciting summer plans that you're going to be doing or?
Yeah, I'm going to Ireland in June.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yes, so we're going
No.
to Waterford for our 15th anniversary, my husband and I. So
Just you
that'll be
two.
exciting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
amazing.
so that's pretty much it right now, but
Yeah,
that's a big one. So we're.
exactly. Now, do
How about
you
you? Are you like doing anything exciting? Or we can
not
talk about
too
you too,
big,
right?
mostly little day trips. Gonna be doing an overnight in Rhode Island so that we can go to Block Island for the first time. I've
Oh,
never
love
been
it.
there. Gonna try to get Rachel up to Storyland for the first time too. And then in late August, early September, my mom and I are doing a 7-day Canada. I, it's Canada and New England, but really it's just that it leaves out of Boston and hits like 4 Canadian islands and then comes back to Boston. So it's not really much New England, but
That's so
a
much
7-day Canada
fun.
cruise.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exciting. I love that for you.
Yeah, I was like, we had nothing on the docket. So I was like, I have to do something. And it was being offered like really cheap. So we were like, we can just do this, a little girls getaway.
That's awesome. No, you got to jump on those when you get a good opportunity.
Oh my
You go for
gosh.
it, especially
Well,
when it's a good price.
I'm so excited because it's going to bump me from, I think I'm in gold right now up to like platinum or whatever like the next rewards level is for Norwegian.
Okay, fancy pants.
Yeah. So I'm like, then you get like all the perks.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Now, with your trip to Ireland, do either of you have Irish ancestry?
We
Or
both do,
you both
actually.
do?
Yeah,
Okay,
and we actually got
cool.
engaged in Ireland, so it's like a
No
special place for us.
way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can jump into the books now. I'm gonna just start right out with the big one. Who is your favorite author of all time?
I know you're
And
like just ramming me with these hard questions. It is a really hard question to answer.
I know. You can have multiple. That's okay.
Okay. Well, I will say I have put thought into this because, there's just so many great authors out there and I read like a lot of different genres. So, I will say the person who made me fall in love with reading was Jane Austen. So, I'm going to go
Oh,
with Jane, and
nice.
I have unpopular opinion. My favorite book by her is not Pride and Prejudice, everybody. It is not.
Wow.
It's Sense and Sensibility, but I love that
Okay.
one.
Also amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Who can't love Edward, right? I mean, come on. So,
Now, are you fans of like the movie or BBC adaptations?
I mean, yeah, who doesn't love the Pride and Prejudice 6 hour long
Yes,
amazing extravaganza with Colin
that's the
Firth?
correct
Yes,
answer.
of course. Yeah, no, we're not doing the Keira Knightley thing. I'm sorry, everybody. Um,
Totally with you.
yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind a movie adaptation as long as it is like pretty true to the book. They
Yeah.
can take some liberties. There is no lake scene in Pride and Prejudice, but okay. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love a good adaptation. So
Yeah.
period movies are definitely my jam.
Funnily enough, we've actually talked about the Mr. Darcy Lake scene on this very podcast
Oh,
before.
no
So
kidding. Who was that?
Courtney over at the Learning Commons.
Very smart, Courtney. Very smart.
Yep, I think we're going to have a few staff members who talk about Jane Austen.
Oh, of course. I mean, you can't really talk about literature without talking about Jane Austen. So,
Yeah.
especially, women in literature. She's
Mhm.
she's everywhere and she's amazing and funny and just a win overall. So,
And it's like a lasting impact, it's we're still
absolutely.
crazy about her today. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Very popular still. So, she
Mhm.
obviously was doing something right, you know?
Are there some masters of some different genres that you read that you really love?
So I love Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar. I know Jonathan actually reads. Hi, Jonathan, out there, wherever you are. Jonathan reads these. So Shadow in the Wind. Oh my goodness. It's just his stuff is so beautifully written. And obviously, I do not read Spanish, and I believe the originals were written in Spanish. So I'm
Okay,
getting the translated version, but
sure.
just so beautifully written and so intriguing. And it almost like meshes all the genre together.
Oh, wow.
So it's like historical fiction and it's mystery and it's like suspense and just amazing. I can't even say enough
Wow.
good things. So like I've read all his stuff. I have one left, and
Okay,
obviously if I could meet him I would, but it has passed. So I
okay.
have one book left and I'm kind of like once I read that I've read everything.
Mhm.
So I don't know when I will be reading that, but it's the last
You almost
one.
like want to push it off and just savor
Yeah.
it and hold on to it.
Yes, yes. I've had it on my shelf to be read for
Aw.
several months, and I'm just, looking at it going, nope, now is not the time. Now is
Yeah,
not the time. So
gotta save
when the
it for the
time is
right.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So my next question is, do you judge a book by its cover?
absolutely. I mean, I think if anybody says they don't, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
Even as a librarian, yes, I judge a book by its cover. I was actually having a conversation recently with one of our other librarians, Betty. I don't know if she's done your podcast yet.
Not yet.
So you should get Betty in here because we had a great conversation about cover art and how it has changed, like over the years and that kind of thing, especially for the romance genre.
Yes.
So I know that Lessons in Chemistry won March
Mhm.
Madness, which I was so happy about because I absolutely love that. And that cover art, that sort of look,
Mhm.
once that book caught fire, it seemed to just like keep going. And everybody kind of
Yeah.
adopted that kind of style of cover art and it sort of landed in the romance genre.
Yep.
And so we were talking about how, when we were in our 20s and like way before that, our mothers and whatever were reading these Fabio covers with the long flowing
Right.
hair and these muscular men. And, now they're like cartoons. And
Yeah.
so I was trying to think, I have a little bit of a marketing background, so I'm trying to think to
Mhm.
myself, like, why would they do this? And I think they're trying to get a younger audience for these romance
Mhm.
novels because, if you're putting these Fabio looking men, who's not enjoying that, looking at it, but you're not going to carry that to the beach with you and be like,
Right.
I'm so proud I'm in my 20s reading a
Bring it on the
romance novel,
subway
right?
car, like.
Yeah, exactly. We're putting a different cover on that. So I think that that's why, the
Mhm.
cover art has changed, but I absolutely judge a book by its cover. Yeah, if the cover art grabs me, I'm in.
Yeah, I try not to, especially when I'm purchasing books for the library. But then I'm like, if everyone's judging books by their covers, we got to think about, what people are going to see when they see it on the shelf. So
Right.
even
Right.
in library purchasing, yep.
Yeah, well, we've been trained. Our brain has been trained to judge things and to our eye catches one thing and we say, okay, this is the product I want. This is the person I want. This is the outfit I want. So why not judge a book by its cover?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The only bad thing is like when the opposite kind of happens, you're so excited about something because you're like, this book's going to be great. It has the most beautiful cover. And then it's like, lets you
Wah
down.
wah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
We've all been there, unfortunately. Yes. Yeah.
So, what is the first book that you remember reading?
Okay. So I actually remember this vividly. I was probably
Yeah.
about 5 years old, and my sister had these books. They were probably like 5 inches by 6 inches. They were almost square, and they were called the Mr. Men books. And I
Oh, yeah.
remember reading Mr. Happy. You can Google this later, and you'll see the cover art, and that's why I actually read it.
Wait, wait, wait.
Um,
Are these the ones that came out as like a meme a couple years, like a year or
oh,
two
I
ago?
think you're right. Yeah, I think that they did
Like Little
have them as
Miss, whatever.
yes. Yeah, so like after Mr. Men got popular, and I want to say they were probably popular in like the 70s, but I'm an
Okay.
80s kid. We had them kicking around from my sisters, I think. But anyway, they then in the 90s or something had the Little Miss ones. And so they had like Little Miss Sunshine and all the little girls instead of men, right? And
Yep.
so it's a really cute little happy looking cover, and he's this yellow guy with a big smile, so I definitely judged a book by its cover the very first
Of
time.
course.
But yes, I remember reading that and I was just so proud of myself because it was a big book for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like a big series, right? Like there's a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah, I think we had most of them. It came
Oh,
like in a
cool.
big box, and we always had books lying around, so I
Yep.
think that's where the love of books came from. They're just everywhere.
That's the way to be.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I don't think there's a room in my house that does not have a bookshelf in it.
Yep.
Overflowing, and then there's some on top and the
Right.
sides, and they're everywhere. They really are everywhere.
Do your kids enjoy reading?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really do. It was a struggle for a little bit with my son. He was not really into it. He would much rather go out and play or play a
Mhm.
video game. But once he found a book series he loved, it was amazing. And you just like saw this switch flip, and it
Oh,
was so beautiful to see, especially, as a librarian. I'm like, yay, this is wonderful. So,
yeah.
yeah, My Weird School was the series in case Rachel
My
needs
weird
something
school. Okay.
later. Yeah, they're so funny and silly and ridiculous, and he just loves them. So,
Oh, it's so
yeah,
important, like finding something that they love. And, especially even if it's a different format, like I know so many kids are into the graphic novel format
yep,
today, and it's like, that's
yep.
okay. Those are books. This is reading.
Absolutely. Reading is reading, and I will never tell my kids, no, you can't read that. It's not really reading. No, it's you want to read, the TV guide. They don't have that anymore, but whatever. I don't care. The phone book, they don't have that either, but whatever. If it has words on it, read it. That's fine.
Yeah. So you kind of maybe touched on this. Which author, past or present, would you love to meet?
Yeah, obviously Carlos, I would totally shake his hand and tell him he's amazing. I think I would meet Jane Austen. She's actually like my 13th cousin, 12th times
What?
removed or something. I don't know. We're related in some capacity.
That's so
But
cool.
yeah, so maybe cousin Jane, I'd like to say hi to her. But recent authors, people who are contemporary, maybe Emily Henry. She
Okay.
seems
Yep.
fun. She's so
Yep.
fun.
Be a good
Very
one.
witty. She actually kind of has the Jane Austen feel, but like a
Yeah,
contemporary, because
I
she's
could see
like
that.
very slight humor, but you're like, oh, that was clever. That's just so fun. So
Yep.
yeah, maybe her. Maybe her.
Emily Henry. Cool. And she's
Yeah,
got a
so
new one coming out, right? Or
it
just came out?
just came out. I
Okay.
think I want to say like the 26th or something. I
Okay.
don't have it in my hands yet, but it is
Yep.
out.
Yeah. It's
Um,
Funny Story. Is that what it's called?
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I read two of her books, but I don't know. I didn't get super into her. I may come back to it, but
Give it a shot. If you don't like it, that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about books. There's something for everybody, and we
Yeah,
don't all have to like the same things. That would be
definitely.
really boring if we all did,
Right.
honestly. Really vanilla world that way. So,
Right. Well, I just have one question left, Tina. What's your favorite place to read?
I love reading outside. So we
Mm.
just did, our yard cleanup for spring, and I put my chairs out there, and it's just a great place to sit. And last summer I was sitting out there and reading some historical fiction, and
Mhm.
it was about World War II, and they were describing the bombers going overhead. And I lived at the airport, and it was a little unsettling. So that's the only
Oh,
time I haven't said, "Oh, this is great to read outside." I
right.
actually went in because I could hear the like propeller planes, going overhead, and I'm going, oh gee, I'm too into this book. But yeah, I love reading in a hammock or when I'm camping, by the river, just like two of my favorite things together. So
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I actually had a book out on my
absolutely.
porch. I went home for lunch today and I brought my book out on the
Oh,
porch and was reading.
oh, it's gorgeous out today. Yeah.
I love summer. I was like planning my summer list of like all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I need to actually start figuring out what we're doing on what weekend because like it's already filling up
Oh my
somehow.
gosh, I know. It's so fast. And when you have children, that's just,
Uh-huh.
that's what happens. So
And you're like, I have to make sure I get them to the beach this summer and like, all the little milestones.
yes, how do you fit it all in? You'll make it work.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me, Tina.
Yeah, thank you. This was really fun.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are at Regina Library on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're also on TikTok at regina.library. You can always reach us through our website, too. It's been great having you here, and we'll see you again soon for our next summer staff episode.